morning. I am coming to you from sunny Florida. Can you see the ocean back there? Oh my goodness, it is beautiful. I mean, seriously, love it. I am at a convention called the Coastal Magic Convention, and it is a paranormal convention, so it's pretty exciting. And it's a lot of fun hanging out with paranormal authors and some awesome readers that I've gotten to meet in person that I felt like I've known in person. In my head, I've known some of these readers for 5 years. I feel like I know them in person. When I saw them at the conference, I'm like, oh my gosh, how are you doing? How's so and so? Because I felt like I know them so personally already. So, but anyways, I thought I would go ahead and answer a reader question from the beach. And I thought that would be kind of fun, a kind of a fun background. And so today's question comes from Shania Co. or Shanna Co. I know I messed that up. It's Shania Co. And she sent it in via the um, email, tonyak11.tk@gmail.com. So if you have a question, go ahead and send it to me. Every week I answer a reader's question, and it's so much fun. So anyway, she says that she had a couple questions to ask, and she wanted to know if I could answer them. Her first question is, what is my writing process? And the second question is, now that you've done both self-publishing and traditional publishing, which do you prefer and why? Well, my writing process is, I'm not one of those writers that can write 2 or 3 stories at a time. My brain just does not multitask like that. So what I do is after I always come up with the murder first and why they were murdered. And what I do is, in a mystery, you work backwards. So you have the murder first, and then you have to work backwards into solving it. So, like, in a romance, you have the friendship or whatever it is that you do first, and then you have the romance at the end of the happily ever after. Well, a mystery is completely written differently. I mean, it's one of the strangest ways. Like I said, you write it backwards. And so I always come up with my murder and my victim and who done it and why they did it, the reason. And then I go in and fill in all the other stuff. So my writing process is I write straight through the entire book. So I write straight, 250, 300 pages, and I write every day, anywhere from 2 to 5,000 words a day. So I know that if I write at least 2,000 words a day, then in a month I can have a 60,000 word novel. Some of my publishers, because you talked about traditional, only want 50,000 words, which is my Ghostly Southern Mystery series. HarperCollins only wanted 50,000 words. They're quick, they're fast paced. Henery Press, on the other hand, wanted between 60 and 65,000 words in my Kenny Lowry Mystery series. And then in my new book deal with Crooked Lane for my Wedding Baker series under my pen name Maymee Bell, that will be out in 2018, they want about 70,000 words. So, what I do is I divide up how many words they need by the days, and I write that many words in the month. And then I go back and chapter by chapter, I fill in what I call the meat of the story. I add in, the settings, more of the funny of the story. Instead of doing that in the beginning, I write the funny in later. Put in the Southern cliche sayings that I do, fill in the weather, fill in any sort of descriptions, any holes that are left in there. And after that, I'm pretty sick of the story. I know it sounds terrible, but at that point, I'm ready to move on to another story. So I send it off to my editor, and that's done. The process for that is the exact same for self-publishing and traditional publishing. So hopefully that will answer your question about that. Now, about the traditional versus self-publishing, there are cons and pros to each of, pros and cons to each of those types of publishing. What I love about self-publishing is that I have control of when I want to put it out. If I wanted to write a book next month and put it out the month later, I can do that. With traditional publishing, it's about an 18-month lag time. So there's a lot of planning that goes into the traditional part, to where I'm kind of a spontaneous kind of gal. So I just kind of decide I'm going to do it. I fly by the seat of my pants. Sometimes I decide that I'm not going to do it, and I stop it that day. People might think that I'm, bipolar or something, because I just kind of change my mind. But you know what? It's my job, it's my business, it's my life, and that's how I do it. Works for me. So one thing about traditional publishing is that, for instance, I'm here at the Coastal Magic Con. Uh, there are a lot of, self-published and traditionally published authors here. But instead of bringing my self-published titles, which I would have to ship here, I would have to order them at my cost and hope that they sell. If they don't sell, then I have to ship them back home. Well, I didn't do that at this con, because there is a bookstore that is here this year, and they got in my traditional titles, and I'm hoping that some people buy some of the traditional titles also. So that's a pro for me as I'm traveling around to see readers. And so when I do my mystery train for my readers in the fall, which, if you don't know about my mystery train, then you surely want to check that out. That's a whole lot of fun. That's where me and my friend Duffy Brown host a mystery reader weekend on a train, and we invite a couple different authors every year to join us. And it's a live mystery theater while we have dinner. It's a whole lot of fun. It's in October, but you can check my website, TonyaKappes.com, for details on that. But anyways, and so I always have a book signing there. So people, I don't like to go somewhere where I can have a book signing. So the people on the mystery train don't have to go to the book signing. It's just a book signing. So it's at a local bookstore, which again can get my traditional books in. They don't get my self-published titles in. And also another thing with traditional is that you can get into book fairs. And I love to do the Kentucky book fairs. And they don't generally allow self-published authors in. So really the difference for me is just the freedom of self-publishing versus the traditional part. And we won't even get into the money. I mean, the money is, obviously I can control what I make. Well, not what I make, but what I set the books at. But also, I don't give myself an advance like I get with my traditional books. So, you used to have to pay back your advance when you were a traditionally published author with a new contract, and now you don't have to do that. You get to keep your advance and then make your royalties after that. So there's a lot of things that have changed in the traditional publishing world because of self-publishing, and I've been able to reap the benefits of both. So I can't tell you that I prefer one or the other. I just believe that all my eggs aren't in one basket, and that's the way I like it. And I hope that I answered your question, and I hope that everybody sends in more questions for me to answer. And I love doing this, so I hope you have a great weekend, or a great week, because I'm filming this on the weekend, but you're going to get it on the week. So have a great week. I know that when this airs, I'm going to be back in Kentucky where it's 17 degrees. My mom is at my house watching Charlie and Scooter and kind of keeping an eye on my kids that still live there, although they're pretty much adults. And she texted me this morning and said it was 17 degrees. And again, I mean, really look at this weather. It is gorgeous. I love Florida. See you guys later. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.